Alright, hello everybody, it's David. I'm going to make another video in Verilog. I did a previous video on a 3x8 decoder and said you can synthesize it onto an FPGA. So here I have an FPGA. This is the Basys 3 by Digilent. Sorry if the quality is not so good, but it has a Arctic 7 FPGA made by Xilinx. And for the 3x8 decoder, I'm going to use these three switches as the input, and we have the LEDs along the top here. I'm going to use 8 of these as the output. So the input to the decoder will be these three switches here, and we'll see the decoded output on the LEDs up here. Alright, this time I'm going to switch over to Vivado. Alright, here we are in Vivado. I opened it up and I created a project and set the board to the Basys 3. Now once we're in Vivado, we need to click this plus sign here, add or create. You probably can't see this window, but there's add or create design sources. Click next. We're going to create a file, call it Decoder 3x8 or 3x8, finish, and you can see it updating here. Give it a second. It's adding sources. Another window pops up. I just click OK, and yes, that's where you can set up the names of your inputs and outputs and give them the bit width. But I just do all that in the file. Alright, once it's finished updating, click on this arrow here to reveal your Verilog file. I'll double click on it and it'll open up in the editor over here. Let me maximize this. Okay, alright, now we can start coding. So we have input. It's going to be 3 bits of switches. We'll call that Dec in. This will be our switches. And we will have an output that is 8 bits. And we will call it Dec out. And these will be the LEDs. I'm going to go ahead and make this reg. So I can come down here, always at all, begin end, case of Dec in, end case. So now we can have values from 0 to 7, and I'll start coding here. So Dec out will be equal to 8 bits of binary, 234 underscore 1234. Now I will just copy and paste this for 7 more lines. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I just go through and change these numbers to the values that those switches can be. I'll use this column select, make these all 0. I'll go down here and start coding the one hot for the LED outputs. So we only want one LED on per input. And there we go. The 3x8 decoder is finished. Next thing we need to do is go back here to the plus. And I know you can't see the window again, but then you want to select add or create constraints. Click next, create the file. Give it a name. I'm going to call it const for constraints underscore 3x8 or decoder 3x8. Finish it. Creates pretty quickly. Under here you'll see the XDC file, which stands for Xilinx Design Constraints. Double click on that. Opens in the window here. Now you can't see me do this either, but what you need is the master XDC file for the Basys 3. So I'm going to go to a folder on my computer, and a lot of people just bring in the entire XDC file and then uncomment the lines they want. Well, I've already gone through and uncommented, and I just bring in what I need. So I need 3 switches, switch 0, 1, and 2. Now I'm going to go back and grab 8 LEDs. So LED 7 or LED 0 through 7, bring that into the file here. So I'll expand it out and you can see we have, excuse me, our constraints. So now what we need to do is change the name inside here to match the names of our inputs. So we have deck in for the input and deck out for the output. So you can use this column select, go down here, select the SW, change that to deck underscore in. We'll come, oops, should highlight it correctly, come down, this is deck underscore out. Take that off, save it. Okay, now that we have our inputs and outputs, what we need to do is go ahead and run synthesis, run implementation, and generate the bit stream. I'm just going to click on the generate bit stream, and once that's complete, then we'll go to the next step, which is opening the hardware manager and connecting our board. So we'll let this run through synthesis and implementation. You can see down here, synthesis is running. When that's complete, it'll go right into implementation, and you also have the message up here in the upper right corner that's running synth. So when our bitstream is complete, it'll say something like write bitstream complete, and we'll go on from there. So it takes a couple of minutes. I'll go ahead and plug in the Basys 3 over here, and I'll walk you through how you connect it up, and then I'll switch to the other camera and show you the decoder on the Basys 3. Excuse me for not fast forwarding through this. I'm not very tech savvy on these recorders. I'm using the Xbox game bar to record this video, and I think that's why it only picks up on the main app of Vivado. All the little pop-up windows that come up that you didn't see, it doesn't pick those up. I think I'm gonna look into getting a better screen recorder. And if any of you have any ideas, please leave a comment and tell me which one I could use. Of course, I'd like to get a free one, but one that will pick up on all the little pop-ups that come up in the app. You can see it's running the implementation now, which is basically the place and route step. So it's going into the it's basically configuring the FPGA and all the routing and stuff. Up here we have running op design. Should be pretty close to being done. Let's see. Now it's running the route design. And now it's running write bitstream. Okay, now we have a write bitstream complete. So now what we want to do is come down here, open our hardware manager. If you haven't already done so, then connect up your FPGA. In this case, I'm using the Basys 3 with your USB cable, and go ahead and turn the switch on, and then click this button here, open target, and auto connect. Of course, there's another pop-up window here. It's got a little green bar going back and forth, connecting to server. Here we have some information populating right here in this window, which means it's connecting. And now we're connected. So then we will hit this button here, program device. And then another window pops up, just click program. And it's programmed. I'll switch over to the other camera and show you the decoder on the FPGA. Alright, here we are. We have the Basys 3, it's all programmed. You see it's got the lights on. Now we'll see the decoder. So these three switches are off, so we have essentially 0 coming in. So the LED 0 is lit. Now as I count up in binary in these switches, you'll see each corresponding light light up. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And there you have it, 3x8 decoder on the Basys 3 FPGA. Thanks for watching.